The channel. Happy Friday. Big news happening in the crypto space. Token 2049 is going on. Solana has an event going on. But today there was big news as far as another major bank in the US that is allowed to custody Bitcoin. Bitcoin adoption is growing by leaps and bounds, and just it's a slow trickle effect. Today's video, I'm gonna highlight some of the big announcements this week regarding Bitcoin and the crypto space, as well as some FUD with Ethereum. So guys, follow me. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the world of crypto today. So if we look at fear and greed currently, we see that we're neutral, right? So yesterday we were neutral at 49. Today we ticked up to 54. And just slowly but surely, I'd expect us to be at the greed section. Third quarter, end of third quarter, we should be there. So there's a lot of positive things happening in the space. So that's what we like to see. Right now, we're not as fuddish in the space. If you look at crypto, Twitter, just a lot of good things happening. People are pumped about what's to come. So overall good, right? So if we look at smart money, what happened last week, end of last week, we see that as far as inflows go, the week before there was some outflows of Bitcoin, and that was reflected with the price being under 60,000. Now we're seeing an inflow for the past week of 436 million. Ethereum still has a negative of 19 million, but again, you have Grayscale and their trust still dumping, and some news that I'll get to later as well. So there's some suppression with ETH, but I think when the market turns around and Bitcoin hits a all-time high, ETH will follow as well. Solana had an inflow of 3.8 million. Litecoin had an inflow of 300,000. XRP was nil. You have Cardano inflow of 600,000. For everyone writing Cardano off, saying it's a ghost chain, Smart Money still believes in it. So overall, good. A lot of inflows. So looking at CoinMarketCap today, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance currently is at 56.7. ETH dominance 14%. It's pretty low. But overall market cap, global market cap for crypto space is 2.1 trillion. Price of Bitcoin, the type of video is 62,000, almost 63. ETH at 2,500. I'm only highlighting, the coins that I talk about a lot on the channel. Solana's at 146 for the past 24 hours, up 2%. Let's see here. Toncoin is down for the past 24 hours, about 2.3%. Current price 560. And then ADA's out of the top 10 currently, knocked out by Tron. Currently, ADA's at 35 cents for the past 24 hours, almost down 1%. And Avalanche is right there, 27 bucks. It went up a little bit, up 3% for the past 24 hours. And then you have the likes of Chainlink, 11 bucks for the past 24 hours, up 1.5%. And that's about it. Then you have Near bringing up the rear at $4.35, and for the past 24 hours, up or down 2.5%. So overall, still some good deals to be made in the altcoin world, even Bitcoin for that matter. The price of where this thing is going to be in the near future, you're going to kick yourself 5-10 years from now that you didn't get in when the price was 62,000. So not financial advice, but it's always a good time to DCA into Bitcoin. So the big news that happened, that was announced, BNY Mellon, which is a big bank here in the US, but they also have global assets ranging from up to 50 billion. They received on Monday, during a public hearing in Wyoming, BNY was named as the bank that received an exemption from the SEC rules for custodying digital assets. So they have cleared the way for them to start custodying BTC, where it could be as an ETF or just the asset itself, to its wealthier clients. This is huge. It's a big bank. We're not talking about little, savings bank down the road. This is a real deal. This is a big player. And could this be or lead the way for other banks here in the US and worldwide to be, on board? We already know BlackRock and all the ETFs here in the US. But again, you go from last cycle where Bitcoin was very speculative. No big players really into it like that. I know you had the Michael Saylors and Mark Cubans of the world, but not institutions like there are now. And once regulation comes in, it's going to be crazy. But this is huge news. And even on their website, you see them talking about digital assets. The adoption, when I talked about at the beginning of this video, just trickle till it's just a big water event and just the flood happens, the floodgates open. But here, they're talking about digital assets for their clients. They understand, and I'm going to highlight this, the next generation. Reason I got into crypto is because I saw where the economy was headed. I saw where finance was heading. Everybody in the world is always on their phone. I don't know the last time I had paper money in my pocket. It was all digital. You're sending things via your phone, via computer. And when you see the new asset class of crypto, I had to get into it and I had to understand. And these older players here are starting to understand that's the wave of the future. This younger generation, and as the generation gets younger, this is what they're going to be involved in: digital assets, not your old stuff that you're talking about, gold and the like. So I think it's the way of the future, and these companies are starting to understand that, these institutions, and that's why you're starting to see the adoption into crypto, my opinion. Also, Marty Party, if you give him a follow, he has very, very good crypto content here on X. Basically, he said the relationship between BNY Mellon and Trump seemed to suggest that there's something there. We all know that he's all about crypto now, but here it says in 2017, the company was named as a trustee for his personal trust, which held his assets while he was in office. This arrangement was part of the structure designed to avoid potential conflicts of interest during his presidency. So we all know right now he's all about it. And it's interesting to see that BNY Global and BNY Mellon got the clearance to custody Bitcoin. Wonder if there's something there. Also, BlackRock, we talked about big players, right? BlackRock put out a 9-page white paper just stating that basically their ETF is a unique diversifier that can hedge against fiscal, monetary, and geopolitical risk. Also includes section called Bitcoin's Path to 1 trillion market cap. The path to 1 trillion market cap. So currently, if we look at the market cap, it's about a billion, right? 1 trillion market cap. I love to see it. So that's what they're talking about. BlackRock's all in. Mainly their ETF since inception back in January is mainly inflows. When others are selling or staying still, they are always buying. There's been about 2 or 3 times where they had some outflows, but for the majority of the time, they're buying. Larry Fink understands. He knows where this thing is going, how precious and how hard of an asset this is. So it's good to see it. And when he talked about fiscal policy and everything like that, this is what's going on here in the U.S. Now, I highlight the U.S. because that's where I live, but all over the world, this is what you got. Fiat is debasing, purchasing power is debasing, and debt is just increasing. When debt increases, what happens? The money printer has to go off in order to, basically avoid just another depression or anything crazy. And just the numbers just keep going up. Currently here in the U.S., we do not have a debt ceiling. So the number is like having a credit card with no balance. You just run up the charges, and at the end of the day, someone has to pay for it. But purchasing power is going down, and that's why we need hard assets like Bitcoin and fast assets like crypto. Just something to keep in mind. And another big player, MicroStrategy, they don't stop. They do not stop. They continue to hodl. They continue to buy. Doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. Michael Saylor and the team understands what they have. And right now, even at 62,000, 63,000, still a good price. They have acquired 7,420 Bitcoin. Estimated value as far as USD is 458 million. And they bought it at 61,750. So it didn't matter when it went down to 55, whatever the case may be, he's still buying. So if someone like that is still buying, why can't we DCA at this amount? It's never too late. Never too late. 3 years from now, when it's 150, 200, you'll wish you DCA'd at 61,000, 62,000, 63,000. But they get it. So as of September 19th, they currently hodl 252,220 Bitcoin, acquired for 9.9 billion at 39,266. So that's the power of DCA. Although they're buying at high prices, lower prices, that's their estimated cost per Bitcoin. DCA is a good strategy if you're trying to get a hold of any asset. But Michael Saylor knows what's up. He's a smart man. Also, we talked about this earlier this week. Bhutan, I don't even know where that is, but they understand. They saw El Salvador, what it did for their economy, and they're doing the same thing. Arkham has actually tracked their publicly listed addresses, and it says the royal government currently holds $780 million worth of Bitcoin. So that is interesting. So you see there, they're not playing around. They also hold some other, looks like they hold some other crypto. They hold ETH. They own Binance, and they also own some Matic. So they're getting into crypto as well. It's not only all about Bitcoin; they know about the others as well. So ETH, I'm surprised to see that they have some ETH. Good for them. Very, very good. Now, just looking at the number of Bitcoins held by these here in the US, some of these companies. Right now, IBIT currently holds the most. And for those of you who don't know what IBIT is, that's the ETF for BlackRock. Then you have MicroStrategy, we just talked about, bringing up the rear, number 2. Then you have GBDC, Fidelity, Tether, ARK Invest, Bybit. Then you have Mara, who's a miner. You have another ETF here, Riot, another miner. Tesla owns some. Coinbase, HUD8 is a miner. Square / Cash App, they own some. And CleanSpark is a miner as well. But they're all coming up. Everyone's hodling, and there's not enough to go around. So you know what happens when the price of something, when everyone wants it and there's not enough to go around. And not a lot of people are selling either. You know, there's wallets out there from 2009, 2010, haven't touched, not moving. They don't plan on selling for any amount, at least not right now. Price will go up, guys. Also, here we talked about this earlier this week as well. Candidate, using Bitcoin to purchase everyday items such as a burger at the New York bar. You know, he has a big following, so just bringing more adoption, more attention to the crypto space. Also here, this is a chart by Aurelian, and he's basically comparing the way Bitcoin is moving currently to the 2017 cycle. And if you look at this, it's kind of uncanny how similar things are. And if you look at where we're at versus where we're at in 2017 market, pretty much at the same spot, up. And what just happened here in the US to spark that? Rate cut. And what else is going to happen? Election. And what else is going to happen? Just money printers about to go, and then the price will go higher. According to this chart, he's predicting somewhere 280 to 350 per Bitcoin. I'd love to see it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would love to see that. And if that happens, guys, the FOMO will be unreal. If you thought last bull cycle was FOMO, wait till you see what happens this time. So next year is going to be glorious for everybody involved, and you'll just be happy. The years that you stuck with it, whether watching my channel or other channels, not just, the people fudding and calling you crazy and ridiculous or wasting your money on this gamble money, internet money, it'll be all worth it. I really, really believe that. So yeah, that's a nice chart. Also, if we look at assets since 2011, this is from Charlie Bayeo, 2011, as far as return on investment. And Bitcoin leads the way with 43%. 43%. That's just averaging out. But if you look at the bull cycles, right? Look at the averages. It's kind of crazy. 5,000%, right? 1,300%, 95%, 301%, 155%. It's crazy numbers. But the averages since 2011 would be up 43%. And then gold is number 2 at 24.9%. And then you have your stocks and bonds and the like. So for all the gold bugs out there, that'll tell you that, gold is safer and whatever. Just comparing from 2011 to currently, Bitcoin is a better return on investment. So that's not me saying it. That's the data speaking right there. Now let's take a look at ETH. There's some FUD there. The ETH Foundation apparently has sold again. So they sold about 300 ETH worth around $763,000. And since the beginning of the year, they've sold a total of 3,466 worth about 9.6 million at an average of $2,700. So they are selling. So I don't know what to make of this. If you watch this channel, you know where I'm at as far as ETH goes. I still think it's a big thing. They control the space for a while as far as smart contracts go. They have a lot of L2s. They rule DeFi, all those good things. But I think there's a new player in town that's faster. And in my belief, I think it's Solana. And there's others too. Others that I talked about on this channel that I think is going to eat into the market cap of ETH. So I don't think it's going to be the sole L1 de facto. There's others coming for it. You have Cardano. You have Avalanche, ICP I talked about. I like Phantom. There's some other ones that I like more than ETH currently for this cycle at least. But ETH I think will do well. It's going to come around. Yes, there's some FUD. But, when I see, the foundation selling, it could be for whatever, maybe for developers, maybe they need to do something with it. Doesn't mean that they're giving up on the project, but you don't like to see things like this. And then lastly, crypto adoption is still stunted by lack of technical literacy. And it goes on: confusion around crypto storage, regulations, and other factors tech savvy people take for granted could be keeping average users on the sidelines and away from the technology. And this is a perfect ending to this video because yesterday I talked about the Solana phone. Seeker is what they call it. And I think that is a good way to get people who's kind of not sure about crypto. Getting that phone kind of eases everybody into it. And also ICP. I talked about them earlier this week. And the things that they're doing is going to help with adoption. It doesn't make things complicated with a cold, hot wallet or anything like that. Everything is basically you're using the computer, you're using the phone, things that you normally do, and you don't even realize you're on Web3. That's what's going to help adoption. Not to mention the return and crazy gains that's going to happen. That's going to help with adoption as well. But yes, people see the money. Coinbase is easy to use. Robinhood's easy to use. But once you get people in there from buying memes or whatever they're buying, you still have to keep them there. They have to learn about different projects, different investments, and how to get into them, how to self-storage. They have to learn all these things. And if you can make it easier for people, that's when crypto will be fully adopted. So that's the end of this video today. Hope you have a great weekend, guys. And until next week, have a good one. Thank you for spending your time with me. If you like the content, please subscribe. And if you want to see more, hit the notification button to be notified when I come out with new content. Please hit that like button. Help grows the channel, and I appreciate you.